My name is Julie McCawley, and I'm an SJS warrior. My mom, Jane McCawley, is the founder of the Stevens-Johnson Syndrome Foundation. My SJS story begins when I was 10 months old, and I began to have grand mal seizures and was diagnosed with pediatric epilepsy and put on phenobarbital. When my mom asked about the side effects, she was told the only one was drowsiness. Shortly after starting the anticonvulsant, my eyes turned red and puffy, and I developed blisters in my ears. My mom rushed me to the pediatrician and was told I had conjunctivitis in both eyes and double ear infections. The doctor prescribed an antibiotic, told her everything would be fine within a few days, and sent us on our way. Little did my mom know that this was just the tip of the iceberg. The next day, I developed a high fever and a blistering rash, and was again taken to the pediatrician who misdiagnosed me with chickenpox. My condition got much worse. My mouth filled with blisters, I stopped drinking, became dehydrated, and my fever persisted. So my mom brought me to the emergency room, where they started an IV and gave me my missed dose of phenobarbital. I continued to receive my anticonvulsant via IV, all while my blisters went from the size of a pencil eraser to dime and half-dollar size. As the day went on, I became unrecognizable, as if I had been dipped in a deep fryer. On August 18th, 1994, I was admitted to the hospital with SJS. My mom was relieved and hopeful to have a diagnosis because she thought I'd get better soon. However, her hope was stolen when a doctor told her, "Jean, this is not a good thing." My aunts went to the medical library and got the one lone article they had on SJS. My SJS progressed into toxic epidermal necrolysis, and I began a grueling treatment, being debrided daily and wrapped in bandages, given morphine for the pain, and placed on a feeding tube for nutrition. I almost died several times during my hospitalization as my lungs collapsed. There was even a night when the hospital had my entire family come up to say goodbye to me. On my first birthday, the doctors pried my eyes open and broke the news to my mom that I was going to be blind. My mom was told they would need to perform extensive procedures to save my vision. And not only did she have to watch in horror, but she also had to hold me down as the doctor swept glass rods under my eyelids to burst the blisters. My faithful mother never left my side, and after 27 days of fighting for my life, I was released from the hospital. I left the hospital on a feeding tube and with numerous side effects, including being blind in my right eye with low vision in my left, dry eye syndrome, photophobia, and deafness. As I began to heal, my mom found out that the blisters had ruptured in my ears and hardened over my eardrums, making it impossible for me to hear. An ear, nose, and throat doctor had to suction the blisters from my ears to restore my hearing. As I recovered, my mom felt isolated in our experience with SJS, as the doctors told her it was so rare that she would never meet another person with it. However, my mom recalled that two other children were hospitalized with SJS at the same time as me, and she couldn't believe that it was as rare as they said. A year after my SJS, my mom created an SJS support group by connecting with another survivor's family who went to the same pediatrician. Over the first year, the SJS support group slowly grew, and my mom saw the need for a foundation to provide information and support on SJS. In 1996, my mom filed the paperwork for the first nonprofit SJS foundation, the Julie Foundation for Allergic Drug Reactions. She developed the first version of the SJS Foundation site as an AOL homepage and chat room, and messages from around the world began to pour in. My mom was on a mission to ensure no one would have to search for information while their loved one was fighting to survive SJS. She compiled all the information she could on SJS into packets, and she would mail those to SJS families. Then she developed a newsletter including informational articles and resources and spotlighting SJS families to bring awareness and connection to the SJS community. My mom's cousin volunteered to help create an SJS fact sheet, which has since been distributed to hundreds of thousands of families, medical facilities, and pharmacies worldwide. In 1997, my mom changed the name to the Stevens-Johnson Syndrome Foundation to make the foundation easier to find for those seeking information on SJS and TEN. As the foundation grew, my mom decided it was time there was an SJS awareness ribbon and month. Given that I was the inspiration for the foundation, my mom asked me at 9 years old for my favorite color and made it a light blue in my honor. After researching which month would be the best, my mom decided that August would be SJS Awareness Month, as it was when she first learned about SJS, and there wasn't a lot happening in August. She wrote to all 50 United States governors to have August declared SJS Awareness Month. A fellow SJS survivor studying IT volunteered to develop the foundation's website as a birthday gift for my mom. They added a counter to the website to track its usage, and in 2001, the counter surpassed 1 million. They also created a registry for reporting SJS and TEN, which is still active today, and aids in gathering an accurate count of SJS and TEN patients and identifying successful treatment plans. Over its 29 years, the foundation has supported thousands globally, hosted numerous SJS awareness events, and worked with medical professionals on SJS research to identify causes, genetic markers, and treatment plans. Our family funded the foundation until SJS survivors and families began donating to offset the cost of printing and mailing informational materials. Until mid-2010, the foundation sent out personalized handmade blankets and teddy bears to children who had recently had SJS. In 2008, at the age of 14, I recognized the need for an SJS kid-friendly explanation of SJS and created the SJS Kids Support site to educate children about SJS. I knew it was essential for kids to be able to understand and explain what happened to them to help them with the healing process. My mom and I have done numerous interviews with news stations. We were on the Montel Williams show and participated in Mystery Diagnosis. We have always been very active in sharing our story, spreading awareness of SJS, and dispelling the myth that SJS is rare. The foundation is very active on social media, so we can utilize every avenue to spread the word about SJS. For 2 years now, we have run the SJS Warrior campaign, which allows SJS survivors and family members of those who have lost their battle to SJS to share their stories. The campaign has been quite successful in bringing the SJS community together. The foundation has always strived to collaborate with other organizations. Over the years, we have partnered with the Boston Foundation for Sight by referring patients, donating toys for the waiting room, and supporting SJS Kids Week. The foundation is also a part of organizations such as NORD and the Genetic Alliance. We've also connected patients with medical professionals and collaborated with organizations and researchers such as Vanderbilt University Medical Center. We've assisted Vanderbilt in fundraising, promoting research efforts, and contributing to a white paper on the diagnosis, management, and treatment of SJS. I am here today because my mother refused to give up and because people cared enough to fight for answers. Let us continue the fight together for every warrior, every family, and every life touched by SJS. My journey with SJS began before I could even walk, but it continues today as a lifelong commitment to advocacy and awareness. The Stevens-Johnson Syndrome Foundation started with one family's fight for survival and now stands as a voice for thousands worldwide.